How Princess Leonor and infant Sofia left the crowd speechless at the commemoration 2025. Everyone arrived at the commemoration expecting composure. That's the rule with royal ceremonies. Respectful silence, measured gestures, predictable reactions, nothing unexpected. But within moments of Princess Leonor and Infanta Sofia stepping forward, that expectation collapsed. Because something quiet, unplanned, and deeply human happened in full public view. And the crowd felt it before they understood it. Here's the familiar context. A national commemoration in 2025. History being honored, loss acknowledged, speeches prepared, emotions meant to remain formal and contained. People expected the younger royals to fulfill protocol and withdraw. Instead, they did something far more powerful. They stayed present. Not loudly, not dramatically, but intentionally. That decision alone shifted the atmosphere. And here's the part that shocked everyone. They didn't speak much, yet they said everything. Princess Leonor stepped into the space with a seriousness that signaled more than training. It signaled awareness, not just of the moment's importance, but of its emotional weight. And right beside her, Sofia matched that awareness differently. Less structured, more intuitive, equally sincere. Together, they didn't perform remembrance. They embodied it. That's what left the crowd speechless. Not a single gesture was exaggerated. No forced expressions, no rehearsed emotion, just stillness, attention, and respect held long enough to be felt. Leonor's posture told one story. She stood as someone who understands that memory carries responsibility. Her gaze didn't drift. She didn't rush the moment. She allowed silence to do the work. That restraint spoke of leadership developing in real time. Sofia's presence told another story. She allowed emotion to exist without display. Her expression wasn't detached, nor overwhelmed. It was present in a way that invited empathy. She made the moment accessible. And suddenly, protocol stopped being a barrier. The crowd didn't feel addressed. They felt included. This is where curiosity deepens. Why did this moment land so differently than other ceremonies? Why did people leave talking about feeling something, rather than seeing something? Because Leonor and Sofia weren't focused on being seen. They were focused on understanding. That distinction matters in 2025. Public trust no longer responds to polish alone. It responds to presence. Leonor's role in that moment wasn't future-oriented. She wasn't standing as one-day queen. She was standing as someone willing to hold discomfort without distraction. That matters deeply at commemorations, where memory asks for patience rather than performance. Sofia complemented that by grounding the emotion. Where Leonor symbolized continuity, Sofia symbolized connection. She instinctively mirrored the emotional temperature of the crowd instead of elevating herself above it. Together, they formed a quiet balance. And balance is rare at moments heavy with history. People noticed. Not with applause. With silence. The kind of silence that isn't empty. The kind that listens back. Observers later said it felt as if the ceremony slowed down. As if time stretched. That wasn't an accident. Leonor didn't rush through the moment. She allowed space for reflection. And Sofia, without overshadowing, stayed fully aligned. That alignment told a deeper story about the sisters themselves. They are no longer appearing together out of formality. They are appearing together with intention. Leonor understands the symbolic weight she carries. Sofia understands the emotional weight others carry when they witness it. That combination is disarming. And it explains why the crowd reacted the way it did. No one shouted. No one clapped. They paused. And in today's world, pause is rare. Pause means attention wasn't manipulated. It was earned. Another layer emerged as the ceremony continued. Leonor's composure didn't read as distance. It read as respect. Sofia's openness didn't read as informality. It read as sincerity. Neither broke protocol. They elevated it. By reminding everyone that tradition doesn't lose power when emotion is acknowledged. It gains relevance. This is crucial for the monarchy in 2025. Spain isn't asking its royals to be perfect. It's asking them to be present. Leonor showed that leadership doesn't need volume. It needs steadiness. Sofia showed that support doesn't mean stepping behind. It means standing alongside. What made the crowd truly speechless was realizing this wasn't rehearsed chemistry. It was lived understanding. These sisters have grown up navigating private emotion under public expectation. And in that moment, they translated that experience into quiet credibility. Not just for themselves, but for the institution they represent. When the ceremony ended, there was no dramatic finale. Just a collective sense that something had been shared rather than displayed. People left changed, not impressed. And that difference matters, because ceremonies are meant to remind nations not just of what happened, but of how it should be remembered. Leonor and Sofia didn't tell people how to feel. They showed them it was safe to feel at all. That's why the moment lingered. That's why footage continues to circulate without sensational editing. That's why conversations focused on emotion rather than spectacle. In a single appearance, they bridged history and humanity. And without raising their voices, they left an entire crowd silent. Not out of formality, out of respect. And that may be one of the most powerful statements made by the Spanish monarchy in 2025.